Hiemstra, founder of Futurist.com and author of this book, Turning the Future into Revenue, What Businesses and Individuals Need to Know to Shape Their Futures. Toward the end of this book, when I talk about future challenges, I talk about environmental issues like global climate change. But in that chapter, I also address an area that is somewhat less paid attention to, and that's the future of water quality, and kind of hidden pollution that's flowing into the water. Here's why I address it as I do in the book. A couple of years ago at a conference for which I'm now on the organizing committee called the FIRE Conference, the Future in Review Conference that happens each May in San Diego, I met a great ocean and whale researcher named Roger Payne, who's been traveling around the world collecting tissue samples from whales and measuring those tissue samples for the level of toxic buildup. Among the things that he has found is the following. There is a kind of chemical that we've created over the last couple of decades with good intentions, that is to protect us from fire, flame retardants or fire retardants, and we've put them in everything, from computer keyboards to the cases of computers to our mattresses to our clothing. But what we don't know is that this chemical leaches off of all of that and eventually ends up in our water system. Now, interestingly, if you were to go into the water of Puget Sound behind me and to measure the water quality, you would find that toxic substance there, these flame retardants, but the levels would be so low that you would say it's not dangerous. But if you go into the food chain that lives in the water, and whales are fairly high up on the food chain, you'll find that this toxic chemical accumulates the higher you go in the food chain. So as we eat fish, or as whales eat what they eat in the ocean, they're accumulating more and more of this toxic flame retardant to the extent that the levels in the tissue become, in fact, dangerous. This is a long-term threat, and I'm afraid that we're going to discover that through good intentions and using chemicals wisely in the last few decades, we're going to need to reverse course on many of them and find alternative ways of protecting ourselves from certain dangers in order to avoid this chemical pollution. This is Glen Hiemstra for Futurist.com.